With the group quarantine over, we were free to hang out and do a few more things together. We occupied our days the best we could, building things for the camp, cleaning, taking the dogs for a walk, amongst some other things. So we've now been here 2 weeks. It's gone fast, and as of yesterday, our quarantine within our group got lifted. Thank God. It's just nice now to be able to hang around and not have to worry, because none of us have been out in society. We've not shown any symptoms. We know there's no risk of infecting each other. So last night was celebrated with a nice big paneer curry. So since we've been here, camp has changed and grown a little bit. It started off with the vans all just in a row, kind of parked up, and then we've now manoeuvred them to be a bit more social, but make a bit of a social area. We started off, me and Ash built a little fire pit, a couple of rocks around it. And then as the mornings went on, Ash kind of went on a bit of a building spree, and every morning we'd wake up, there'd be something new built. So it started off with there's a wall around the fire pit, and then he started experimenting with something called a rocket stove. There's a huge pile of bricks around the corner, so we've got plenty of building materials to have a play. Then once we got that perfected, we went for Mark II and built Frankenstove, the 2-burner stove, and that's what we cooked the curry on last night. So yeah, camp's evolving a bit, and there's still some more to do. We've got a preparation station we're going to make next to the burners now, so we can prepare food and stuff and then get them straight on. We want a bench made out of some the big logs and some planks that we've got to overlook our view. I mean, we've got not a lot else to do, so and there's plenty of materials around here to do this sort of stuff, so it's fun. We're kind of just building home. As for the vans, it's the same story here. We can put the vans into what we've called home mode, and that takes a couple of days to kind of get used to. When you live in a van full time, you kind of get into this routine of, like, when you use something, you put it straight back, because the next day you're going to be driving and you don't want it roaming around everywhere. Now that we're here, we don't have to do that because the vans aren't moving. So it's like I could now leave my toothbrush at the sink and the fairy liquid out. I don't have to put the laptop away. It's it just take a little bit of time. The last time I've really experienced it was abroad, was Europe, when I've gone deep into a woods somewhere and I've parked the van up and I'm there for a couple of weeks. In England, it's hard to do that, very hard. But yeah, we've been blessed with this spot. I can't believe I've just said blessed. The dogs have got free roam to roam around. I mean, Lance is out there at the minute. I could just see him having a little wander around. Oh, and he's taking a poo. Both dogs can just go off and do what they want. Lance did actually chase after a hare. There's a hare bolt across the field, and Lance tried it, and the hare actually, I think it was toying with him. It was kind of running at half speed, let him catch up a little bit, and then just went, and Lance had no chance. But a rabbit, I think he'd give it a run for its money on that. So yeah, it's all settled down at camp now. We haven't really had much dealings with the outside world, barring the police raid. That was slightly out of our control. So the police chase started in Warwickshire and ended in 2 fields just over here. They ditched the car and bailed and made it across the fields, and then they actually made it into this field, which is slightly worrying because they were armed robbers. And it was 2 guys and a girl. So Hence why the police helicopter was kind of scoping us out. And as I come outside, there was 2 officers that had flanked the whole camp and were doing the same thing. And my only reaction was to wave. I didn't get a wave back. But once they'd established that we hadn't just robbed a place, or we hadn't took the suspects in and hid them, they were fine. They weren't too bad. They just told us to keep the dogs inside because the police dog was now going to be all over the field. But other than that, we haven't had any contact with the outside world. I don't read the news. I don't really look at anything that pops up on my social media. I'm hardly even on social media at the minute, so if you have messaged and you're wondering why you haven't had a reply, that's why. Ash keeps a bit of tabs on what's going on, the important stuff, and if it's relevant he'll mention it, but if not, honestly we're not fussed. It's getting spun up that much, and there's that much bullshit going around, and that much fear mongering from the media. I haven't really got any worries. At the moment, things that have run out are like wants as opposed to needs. So, you know, like sweets again, a little bit low. Live without them. Firelighters for the log burner. You find other ways to light the log burner. It takes a little bit longer. That's fine. All the time in the world. You know, meat's gone, but you live without meat. Everything we've got is tinned. In fact, we've got tinned meat, so we haven't run out of meat. It's just fresh stuff. Milk, I am now out of fresh milk, halfway down my UHT milk, and soon to be on my oat milk. So yeah, all in all, it's going alright here. The fact that I have no work on is slightly worrying, and it is why I'm cracking out the videos, and unfortunately it is why there is now mid-roll adverts. You'll have to deal with me on that one, I'm afraid. My work has completely stopped. This is my only form of revenue, so I've got to push it a little bit just to keep an income coming in, because at the end of the day I don't have house bills, but I do have bills and they need paying. So yeah, other than that, all is good here. And today is a beautiful sunny day, the first in ages, thank God, because I need the solar. Even with the new batteries, because we've been parked here so long, not very good solar. The batteries are beginning to struggle. They haven't dipped below 12 yet, but they're sort of getting to that point now. And because they're such new batteries and such good batteries, I don't want to damage them. So this sunshine is very welcome for both power and just to be out in the heat. It'll be nice. It's nice to see spring finally coming around. And bloody hell, we're in April and it's been freezing. So anyway, I'm going to stop blabbing. It's now 10 o'clock. I'm going to get this next video done, and then the other guys have just woke up, so I'm going to go and greet them as well. All the many jobs on the van that have been on the back burner, I've finally got around to cracking on with all this time on our hands. Today's job was sorting out the auto drain valve on the air suspension. It had packed up a long time ago, meaning that water can build up in the air system, which isn't good for it. So I was doing away with the complicated circuitry and fitting a manual switch. Having the switch also meant I could now completely air out to help with levelling. After that, while Ash and Marie tackled the weeds, I decided to build a table that could be used as a workbench or a food prep area for the Franken stove. All the materials of the stuff we're building have been found on site and is just scrap. It's like a bloody scrap heap challenge over here. Originally the top was MDF, but then we found some nice bits of oak.
Yeah, she did it. Look at that.
I got you, little man. Oh. Oh. No! No! Battery's gone.
Oh, no!
What is it?
That's in the log.
Oh my god, that's absolutely disgusting.
Enough!
Oi!
I love it when there's absolutely zero standards.
Oh, bugger off.
Wait.
Probably a bit big this, but never mind. The table was done, but I was still on a roll and fancied tinkering, so I started building bloody all sorts.
Oh, is that the helipad?
Yeah, I'll make room for yours. May seem kind of pointless, and to be honest it kind of is, but if you fly a drone you'd know when you come into land or take off and the blades hit something and it flips, it's not a nice feeling. Wood cutting's become a regular chore. With having the campfire, our log burners and the rocket stove, they all need fuel. So my battery was flat again. Pretty much confirmed that I need a new engine battery. I've been trying to figure out what's wrong with it, whether it was the B2B pulling too much power or anything. But anyway, that's not my point. The point is we bumped the engine battery earlier and found a mouse sleeping in my HVAC cover. It made a little nest and everything, and we'd obviously, as we cranked the engine, it scared it off. So mice are a real worry now. Luckily, Jez has gave me this. The try and eat my wires.
Do it again?
Stay, Lance. It's the easiest target, that one, did it?
Yeah.
Go for a back.
Yeah, give it a wing, that kind of be shredded and all the others will be up.
Yeah. I watched it dent, it didn't go through it. You are on a live shooting ground! Move! Come on. It's a toy I don't think's ever featured on the channel. I haven't used this in so long.
That's where it snaps in your face. Oh, which one was that?
I'm done. You shut your face.
I didn't see him under there.
He's had a right mood.
There we go. Right.
New game.
Oh, good job I spent all morning sharpening these.
I know, yeah. We're moving them into the ground. Oh, steady.
You know, add a whistle to it.
Oh!
Oh!
Hey!
There we go.
Be good on your handle.
That's it, let me move
Yeah.
that. You know.
Well, I'm doing the job at least. Take it to file.
Get them tekkers.
Yeah, I like this.
Oh, yes! There it is.
Beautiful. It's weird, isn't it? You kind of got to get some power in, but also
Yeah.
go soft.
Broke it.
Are you joking? Ah.
Well old pieces.
Yeah, to be fair, this one's pretty good to throw away. Surprised this one hasn't gone yet, to be fair.
Give me something to do, make a new handle.
Oh. So you almost have to get it to do a full revolution, don't you?
Yeah. Hey!
Like that. There goes this one. Come on.
That's it.
It's stuck in. Axe throwing was actually really fun, and with a bit of practice I started getting alright. Until I moved a few steps backwards. Right, the sports are over. Go on then. Go on. I think it's just air in this, it's quite a long hose. With a full water tank and the sun blaring, I deemed it laundry day. Oh, reminds me of Spain.
Wet clothes.
Alright. T-shirts. After the chores were done, it was time to sit down, chill out and do a bit of woodwork with the oak that we'd found. Don't worry, before you all start screaming, my hand's actually nowhere near the axe.
Don't know. Fancy a beer?
How many we got left?
2.
One each, isn't it? Well then.
Look at that, it's like a f***ing boat.
That's what I was going for.
That's awesome.
I was going to shape the front, but I think, nah. Frankly. Very often through life, when I'm busy working on something, people will come up and ask me what's up. Looking at my mug now, it's become obvious why. I've got a natural face like a smacked arse. I bet you weren't expecting an incense stick holder, were you? But at least now my hippie van doesn't have to smell like arse crack. And on that note, I'll leave it there. I'll see you guys next time.